I've been living in the Netherlands for just over 3 months now, so I think it's time for the ultimate cultural test, trying some popular Dutch snacks. Now, these are by no means the most popular Dutch snacks. These are just what I was able to get my hands on in my local grocery store, and I can't lie, I'm very excited about this. Dutch food tends to get a pretty bad rep on social media with people slating some of the food items on TikTok, but all of this looks really good and I'm really hungry, so let's get started. What should we start with? I'm gonna start with the item that has intrigued my husband the most. Hageslag? Hageslag, right? Feel free to correct my pronunciation in the comments. I believe this is hageslag. It goes on bread with a little bit of butter, so let's prepare that. Oh, there's probably like a hole or something. Yeah, there's a hole in the side. This is the flavor I've gone with, just regular milk chocolate. I think the dark chocolate ones are also very popular. So I'm just gonna butter my bread, like they say to on TikTok. And I think I just liberally sprinkle these onto the buttered bread. My bread is thoroughly sprinkled. And I forgot to say this at the beginning of the video, but I'll be rating everything 1 through 10. So I'm not really sure what I was expecting. I've never had anything like this before. This is a true like Dutch, I don't want to say delicacy, but I feel like the Dutch are the only people that put sprinkles on buttered bread. It kind of just tastes like chocolate spread on bread in a different form, because obviously the sprinkles are a little bit crunchy, so it gives that contrast to the soft bread. Maybe I put a little bit too much butter on there. I'm just getting like buttery chocolate bread flavor. It's good. I like it. It's interesting to me that children eat this a lot before school because it seems quite sugary, but it probably has nothing on like the sugary cereal that kids in America and England eat on a daily basis. But very interesting combination. I probably would eat this again. I do like the texture. It's just such an interesting idea to me. I'm gonna give this a 7.5 out of 10, maybe an 8. You're gonna see that I'm really awful at rating things because I don't like rating things badly. Okay, we'll go with an 8. This was pretty decent. I'm gonna have one more bite before we move on to the next thing. Pretty decent start. The next item I'm going to be trying is these speculoos cookies. It's my understanding that these are kind of seasonal. They come into the stores around Christmas time and they're kind of marketed as like a gingerbread cookie. I don't think that that's their flavor, but in the US, when gingerbread stuff starts coming out, you know that like Christmas is near. Okay, they smell very spiced. They smell like if you could can up the smell of Christmas and just like crack that baby open, this is what that smell would be. Yeah, getting lots of like herbs in a good way. They smell really great. That was enjoyable, just like a little bit underwhelming. From the smell of them, I was kind of expecting a bit of a flavor punch, but you know, they're just kind of a basic cookie. I feel like they would be really good as like outer sandwich cookies with like a filling. That's probably a thing. People are going to be screaming at me in the comments that that's a thing. But yeah, there's nothing wrong with these. Like I will happily eat this entire thing. I was expecting just maybe a bit more of a stronger flavor. The texture is really nice. It's a very light cookie, not too stodgy, very crispy. I enjoyed these. I don't want to rate them too badly because I love Christmas and I can see these becoming like a staple in our house around Christmas time. I'm gonna give these a solid 7 out of 10 and I definitely would try these again. Since we are on the cookie biscuit train, I'm probably gonna get shouted at for referring to stroopwafels as cookies. But this is the next item that we're gonna be trying together. And I did hear that these are best eaten if you warm them up on a cup of coffee so they get like pretty gooey and warm. But I like my coffee cold and I already consumed that a couple of hours ago. So I'm just gonna raw dog this without it being warm and good. I'm sure it's still gonna be very delicious. I have, of course, had a stroopwafel before. Yeah, no notes. These are just, that they always hit the spot. I know there are a few different brands and there's probably like some kind of debate in Dutch society about which brand of supermarket stroopwafels is the best, but yeah, I've never met a stroopwafel that I didn't enjoy. These are so solid, you can never go wrong. I'm gonna rate this a 9 out of 10. The next item I'm gonna be trying is a spread. It's speculoos spread. I feel like I'm definitely saying that wrong. I think this is the flavor of those cookies I tried a minute ago. This smells, it looks like peanut butter. I know it's not peanut butter. It also has the texture of peanut butter. It looks like peanut butter on my bread too. It doesn't really smell like those cookies. Maybe there's less like spices. Okay, so that's Biscoff. Oh my goodness, I'm gonna be eating this in spoonfuls from the jar. That is so yummy. Oh my goodness. I'm just thinking of all the things I can do with this huge jar of spread that I got. I don't even know how to describe the taste of this other than Biscoff, which I know is an awful description. A warm cookie butter. And like this doesn't necessarily remind me of the holidays or of Christmas, but it reminds me of like really good like baked goods. In England, a lot of coffee shops will serve coffees with like a little mini Biscoff biscuit, but I didn't know that this was Biscoff spread. That's fantastic, but very dangerous in this house because I will eat this entire thing with a spoon. This is also getting a 10 out of 10. Two 10 out of 10s in a row, by the way. It's looking good for Dutch snacks right now. I really need something savory after all of that sweet stuff, so we're gonna go in with these hamkas. I'm guessing the name is like a play on ham and cheese. Ooh, why does it smell like that? That is really stinky. That is one comment that my American husband has had on a lot of food here in the Netherlands, is that it lacks a little bit of flavor. These I don't think are gonna be lacking in flavor if the smell is anything to go by. Yeah, I like that. These taste really good to me. The taste is kind of obviously very artificial. They're potato chips, but I'm getting more like cheese than I am ham, but it's definitely a nice combination of the two. It's quite a strong flavor. They're like very flavor loaded chips. And I like the texture. It's obviously not like a regular potato chip where it's just like sliced potato. These are quite a bit more processed. These are getting like a solid 8.5 out of 10 from me. I'll be enjoying these. Staying on the chip train, or crisps as they're called in my native country of England, paprika chips are apparently the most popular flavor in the Netherlands. My husband has tried a couple of different paprika flavored chips, and he says they always taste like nothing. He can't taste the paprika, he can't taste any flavoring. So I brought these home and he said, ah, yes, the nothing flavored chips. Again, these are very red. Doesn't smell like a lot when I open the bag, if I'm being honest. It smells just like potato. But the paprika does give potato chips a very vivid color. I am gonna have to side with my husband on this one. Let me take one more chip for scientific purposes. I'm not sure if it's because I just ate a couple of hamkers. These really taste like a whole lot of nothing. And maybe that's the charm. Maybe the Dutch really like paprika flavored chips because they're not like too overpowering, you know? You don't always want to eat a bag of chips that slaps you in the face. But yeah, these are really not giving me much. These could honestly just be like the ready salted flavor. That's kind of what they taste like. They look really nice and like they would be full of flavor, but they're just not. I don't hate it. I would probably give these a 7 out of 10. I like potato chips, so nothing really is going to get below a 7 out of 10. Unfortunately for these, they were kind of outshined by the hamkers. I only have 2 more snacks to try with you guys. This one I'm really excited about because I've never had this chocolate before. Tony's Chocolonely apparently is a Netherlands-based brand. This brand I know is getting really big in the US right now. You see it in all of the grocery stores, convenience stores, and apparently there's a tourist attraction that you can do in Amsterdam where you make your own bar and then you can go back and pick it up later that day. I'll have to do that when my family visits. Now, I am a bit of a chocolate connoisseur, not in the sense that, you know, I'm picky with eating chocolate. I just know what good chocolate tastes like because I was raised on dairy milk chocolate. And then I moved to America where Hershey's chocolate exists. Now, I'm not exaggerating when I say Hershey's tastes a little bit like vomit. Something to do with like the level of acid in the milk or something. It does not taste good. I will never willingly eat Hershey's chocolate. So that being said, let's hope this doesn't taste like vomit. First impressions, the bar looks interesting. It's not sectioned off into perfect squares or rectangles, which is kind of messing with my autism. Oh, and by the way, I got the milk caramel flavored Tony's Chocolonely bar. Okay, it is melting in my fingers, so I'm gonna give it a go. That is a nice bar of chocolate. Milky, it tastes nice, there's no weird aftertaste. Hershey's, I'm looking at you. That was very pleasant, and I really like the little bits of caramel in there. It's not caramel flavored in the sense that there's like liquid caramel in there like there would be in like a dairy milk bar. It's like little crystallized pieces of caramel just like strewn in the chocolate. Really nice. Not sure I love the layout of the chocolate bar, I'm gonna be honest. That's kind of messing with me. Why did they do that? But you can tell the chocolate itself is really high quality. I'm not sure that it trumps a dairy milk bar, but a very nice alternative. And I like that it's a Netherlands-based brand. This is getting a 9 out of 10 easily. Maybe a 9.5 out of 10. I'm feeling pretty generous. That was a really good flavor. Okay, we are officially on to the last item of this Dutch snack taste test video. Now, we have had these in our house before, and they are one of my husband's favorites. I believe they're called roze koeken, and they have a really interesting texture. The flavor is very almondy, like vanilla almondy, like marzipan almost. And my husband loves them so much because the bottom layer, kind of like the crust, I guess, tastes to him like American cornbread, and it's like a hybrid like dessert bread kind of thing. These have been in my house for less than 2 hours and already one of them is gone, and I did not consume it. This is what we're working with. I personally really love the color of these. They're so cute. They are quite messy to eat. They're a little bit crumbly, so I'm gonna dig right in. If you like sweet things, you will love this. It is very sweet. After eating like some salty chips and then eating this, the contrast is very stark. The texture is amazing. I can't really tell if it's like a cookie or a cake. I guess it's a cake based on the name, but it's very crumbly. I love the thick layer of icing on top. I do think these come in a few different variations. This is just the one that the bakery at Albert Heijn makes, but I've seen them in some of the other aisles in the store and they look a little bit different, but these are my favorite. They're the biggest. The texture is the best. These are easily a 10 out of 10 for me. And I will happily polish this off after I'm done with this video. Okay, friends, that brings this video to an end. And honestly, I feel like the Dutch snacks really performed well. I don't think anything got less than a 7 out of 10. And that's not just because I'm a very generous rater. These snacks were genuinely very delicious. The snack that surprised me most was the hagelslag, the sprinkles on the bread. The texture was really interesting and just not something I would have tried if not for this video. My two favorites of the entire video have got to be the rose cakes, the roze koeken, and the speculoos spread. I'm not joking when I say I will probably just be eating that with a spoon. The hamkaas were delicious, but the paprika flavored lays were a little bit plain, but I didn't dislike eating them at all. I actually didn't dislike eating anything I tried today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and you didn't get too jealous of the yummy snacks I got to eat. If you enjoy videos like this, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. And if you enjoyed this video, please leave me a like. If there are some other Dutch foods you think I should try, let me know. I'd be more than happy to turn this into a series because this was so much fun for me and now I have so many fun snacks to enjoy over the next few days. Thank you so much for watching, especially if you got to the end of this video, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye. Or should I say, doei.